Picture this, you're building $1 million empire straight from your laptop, and you haven't hired a single employee. Sounds crazy, right? Well, welcome to this explainer, because today we're diving into the staggering reality of how solo creators are doing exactly that. They're using AI as a literal co-founder to build massive businesses from scratch. But we're not just going to sit here and hype it up. We're also going to look hard at the very real limits of this technology and what actually happens when the human element gets lost in the mix. So let's jump right in. $80 million. Let that number sink in for a second. That is the massive acquisition price of a startup called Base 44, which was recently bought by Wix. Now, what is absolutely incredible here is that Base 44 wasn't built by some sprawling, massive team of engineers out in Silicon Valley. No, it was built by one single founder, a guy named Mawar Shlomo, who used no-code tools and AI APIs to just spin up his early prototype. Okay, how about another jaw-dropping number? $1 million in monthly recurring revenue. That's what Cal AI, which is a nutrition app powered by AI meal scanning, achieved in just 6 months. And the CEO, Zach Yadagari, he is exactly 17 years old. Yeah, while most of us were, stressing out over high school chemistry, Zach was out there building a $12 million annual run rate business. He leaned heavily on AI to create these frictionless user experiences, and he pulled the whole thing off with an incredibly lean team of roughly 12 people. Now, you might be thinking, okay, those are just lucky unicorns. But they're really not. They represent a massive macro trend. Just look at the data from the U.S. Census Bureau. 117,060 solopreneurs hit over $1 million in revenue in 2023. And here is the absolutely crucial detail. That number more than doubled right before the release of ChatGPT. We are literally watching a fundamental shift in what one single person is capable of accomplishing. Jensen Huang, the co-founder of NVIDIA, actually captured the sheer scale of this opportunity perfectly. Think about it like this. The internet gave us distribution, right? But AI? AI gives us execution. It's allowing people to create without needing those traditional massive pools of capital or the huge teams that you absolutely used to need if you wanted to build an empire. All right, so here's our roadmap for this explainer. We're going to hit the one-person empire, scaling apps, the AI music machine, your AI management team, the authenticity trap, and then wrap up with the human advantage. Section 1, the one-person empire and the solopreneur shift. The entire definition of a solopreneur has completely changed, simply because the cost of execution has dropped to basically zero. It used to mean you were a single freelancer, right? Trading your time for money. But now, it means you're an architect directing an army of AI agents. There was this recent Forbes report that highlighted a solo founder building a health app. Before AI, he was staring down a massive data headache, trying to translate thousands of super awkward scientific database entries into readable product names. Normally, that would take a whole team weeks to finish. Instead, he just fed the dataset into an AI, and boom, 30 minutes later, the problem was solved. AI is taking over the heavy lifting. Section 2, scaling apps with AI from 0 to 1 million. So, how exactly are these apps scaling up so fast without their overhead going through the roof? Let's take another look at Zach Yadagari's playbook for Cal AI. First off, the product itself is completely frictionless. It uses AI image recognition so you don't have to manually track your calories. But their marketing? Just as smart. They completely bypass traditional marketing agencies and do direct outreach to micro-influencers. They focus on giving immediate value, hooking people on TikTok in like 10 to 15 seconds tops. By using AI as their co-pilot, they get this crazy blend of breakneck speed and strategic human vision. Honestly, it's a product that practically sells itself. Section 3, the AI music machine. Did you know that by 2026, searches for AI music generators absolutely exploded to over 170,000 queries a month? It's wild. And if you look at Chartslex data, there's a fascinating rivalry playing out right now between the two heavyweights, Suno and Udio. Suno is an absolute powerhouse. We're talking $300 million in ARR and 2 million subscribers. It's generally the go-to for generating full vocal songs, though they are currently in active litigation with Sony. Udio, on the flip side, is seen as the safer bet if you want commercial licensing. They actually settled with Universal Music Group and are really known for producing incredibly good instrumental stems. So, how are regular, everyday people actually using these tools to make money? Well, we found this incredible step-by-step playbook shared by a Reddit user who has absolutely zero background in music. Here's what they do. Step 1, write short, emotional lyrics using ChatGPT. Step 2, generate the track on Suno. Step 3, push it out everywhere using a distributor like DistroKid. And step 4, pair that brand new track with trending faceless video clips and throw it up on YouTube Shorts. And the payoff for doing this? This single creator reported making between $3,000 and $5,000 a month, passively. Most of that revenue is coming straight from YouTube Shorts monetization. The secret sauce here isn't spending months trying to craft one single viral masterpiece. It's pure volume. They're uploading 6 to 8 times a day and just letting the algorithm figure out what sticks. They're essentially treating music exactly like a high-volume tech startup. Moving on to Section 4, your AI management team and scaling fan interaction. Okay, so let's say your content works. Your audience explodes overnight. How on earth do you handle all that attention? Enter platforms like EchoMe. For about $50 a month, this AI agent steps in and basically acts as your entire management team. It filters your DMs, hunts down lucrative brand deals, and get this, it even chats with fans on your behalf. There are over 20,000 creators using tools just like this. One creator, Konstantinos Synodinos, says he uses it to hold thousands of parallel conversations with his fans simultaneously. The AI has learned his specific tone and voice so well that it literally just feels like an extension of him. Section 5. The authenticity trap, and what happens when AI content fails. Now, I know this all sounds like a total dream, right? Boundless content, limitless fan interaction, but this hyper-saturated landscape is starting to hit a massive wall. Take a look at this stunning stat from Apple Music VP Oliver Schuster. Over a third, 33.3% of all new uploads to Apple Music are now completely AI-generated. These platforms are literally flooding with synthetic content. But here is the massive catch. Despite making up a third of the uploads, AI music accounts for less than 0.5% of total listen time on Apple Music. Why? Chartlick's data spells it out. AI tracks have 25 to 40% lower save rates on Spotify, and their skip rates are 15 to 25% higher. The algorithms are smart. They realize listeners aren't actually connecting with the tracks, so they just stop promoting them. On top of that, the U.S. Copyright Office is straight up rejecting copyrights for pure AI music, and Apple is now adding transparency tags to clearly flag synthetic audio for users. And when we talk about losing audience trust, we absolutely have to talk about the $975 million twin collapse. You probably know that TikTok megastar Khaby Lame. Well, he reportedly signed this massive deal, giving a printing firm the rights to use his AI-generated twin. But the audience? They didn't buy it for a second. The reality set in incredibly fast. The printing firm's stock plummeted by 90%, and the entire deal essentially collapsed. It's a harsh lesson. You cannot just clone a human connection and expect your audience to blindly follow along. Finally, Section 6, the human advantage and winning with authenticity. Which really brings us to the ultimate resolution of this explainer. In a world where literally anyone can generate a polished song or build an app in a few seconds, how do you actually win? You have to ask yourself this critical question: will AI replace human creators? Because here's the thing, when the cost of production drops to zero, the value of authenticity completely skyrockets. Audiences still deeply, deeply crave a real voice, a real identity, an actual lived experience. There's this fantastic quote from Octavio Moran over at Dentsu that sums this up perfectly. He points out that pure AI content often just feels generic and empty. It has that uncanny, sort of directionless vibe, and audiences intuitively feel that lack of intention. As he puts it, the real question isn't whether or not we can detect the AI, it's whether there's actually a human behind the work who has something worth listening to. And the data completely backs this up. Charlix found the AI-assisted hybrid releases, so where a human uses AI to brainstorm or ideate but finishes the track with real instruments or actual vocals, they outperform purely manual human production by 10 to 20%. The winning strategy right now is treating AI as an accelerator, not a replacement. You use it to draft faster, test cheaper, clear out those creative roadblocks, but then you bring real human performance and human taste back into the final product. So I want to leave you with one final provocative thought to chew on as we wrap up this explainer. AI gives you a level of leverage that we have never seen before. It can write the code, it can generate the music, it can answer your DMs flawlessly, and it can do it all at zero cost. But can it generate a reason for us to care? True, authentic connection remains the ultimate currency. So use the tools to build your empire, absolutely, but never forget to put your own heartbeat into the final product. Thanks for tuning into this explainer, and keep building.